Cristiano Ronaldo abruptly departed Manchester United in November, and he has now officially opened up about the incident in public. When asked what Cristiano Ronaldo would add to his team during his first press conference, Erik ten Hag said, "Goals." A few months later, Ronaldo had actually caused Manchester United more difficulty than goals, scoring just 3 times, 2 of which, a rebound and a penalty, came against FC Sheriff, before having a sit-down interview with Piers Morgan. An interview with Morgan, who was obligated to not vigorously contest Ronaldo's version of events, seemed most likely to result in the termination of his contract. Ronaldo was unhappy and wanted to engineer a move away from the club. His interview with Morgan was broadcast in 2 parts, the first on November 16 and the second on November 17. The club then carefully pondered their next course of action, but the result was unavoidable because of Ronaldo's precarious predicament. 6 days after the initial airing of the TV interview, an official statement detailing Ronaldo's mutual decision to leave was released. His second stint at Old Trafford came to an abrupt end on November 22. Ronaldo had engaged in an unusual verbal battle in which he attacked ten Hag, his colleagues, and his boss. The most important lesson from his interview was perhaps Ronaldo's delusion, even though there were other parts that had merit. Including his opinions on the Glazers, Ronaldo had the appearance of a player in decline who was having trouble realizing he was nearing the end of his career and that he was in the twilight of it. Before consulting with Morgan, he had only had 4 Premier League starts, and that was for good reason. His finishing had been notably poor and he had provided virtually no value while not in possession. On the field, Ronaldo suddenly appeared to be 37 years old, even if he... To find out who is on my side, you sometimes have to go through some hardships, stated Ronaldo. There is no time for regrets, but I have no trouble admitting that I had a horrible career stretch. Whether or not I did well, life continues on, and it was a part of my development. We frequently are unable to see what is below us while we are at the mountain's peak. I've learned that being more prepared now is vital because I had never experienced anything like this before the past several months. I'm a better man now. In his interview with Morgan, Ronaldo resisted acknowledging the magnitude of his declining talent, but his subsequent transfer to the Saudi Arabian team Al Nassr was a recognition, and it has appeared to allow him time to think back on his disappointing conclusion. It is unclear whether Ronaldo feels that Ten Hag was correct to give him a smaller role this season, but his remark about his poor career run during Wednesday's Portugal press conference seemed to be an admission of his decline. Ronaldo said that the experience was part of his evolution and that as a result, he has improved as a person. The tone of those remarks is undoubtedly different from what he said in his interview with Morgan, and it's possible that Ronaldo has come to terms with his shortcomings. It's also conceivable that, given the chance to do it all again, Ronaldo would plan his exit in precisely the same disruptive way. Only the player will completely understand his thoughts. But he may afterwards admit that his response could have been improved. Ten Hag encountered difficulties as a result of the player's annoyance at not consistently commencing. His reluctance to be replaced during the match against Tottenham at Old Trafford was an embarrassing incident that signaled the end, and his interview with Morgan was the lowest. There has been much discussion regarding his legacy since his shocking departure, but given that he opted to slam the door on his way out, it is difficult to see him joining the Holy Three in bronze anytime soon, but most wounds can mend with time. His remarks this week felt like a step in the right way.